Here are the 5 most common mistakes that people make at the Punta Cana Airport that are easily avoidable. The number 1 mistake that people make at the Punta Cana Airport is that they do not arrange transportation from the airport to the resort ahead of time. Many people think it's just like airports in the US. When you arrive, you can get an Uber or a Lyft, get a taxi, but that's not always the case. In fact, Lyft does not even exist in Punta Cana. You can get an Uber, but it is very difficult. And with the tensions between Uber drivers and taxi drivers these days, I would not even risk it. Now, there are a ton of taxis when you arrive, but it is very overwhelming because they're all trying to get your business, they're approaching you, and often the prices start at one price, but then when you arrive, sometimes they're double or triple, and it's really easy to get scammed. There are a ton of reputable companies out there. Just always do your research before booking. We always use Diamond Transfers. I will put their links in the description below. Number 2 is overpacking and checking in a bag when you could have just done a carry-on. If you follow my channel, you know I always only pack a carry-on. And I've done several videos on this to give you some tips on how to do it. And I know it's not possible for everyone. Sometimes the airlines have different restrictions or you have to do a check-in bag. But if at all possible, I would definitely consider it, even if you are staying for over a week. Remember, you are going to a warm climate. You can repurpose clothes because in the Punta Cana Airport, there can be very long wait times, especially for waiting for your luggage. And if you need more tips on how to do this, I will put the links for the packing tip videos in the description below as well, because a lot of people ask me, for instance, how do you pack sunscreen? So I go over all of that in these videos. The 3rd mistake that people make, it's a little bit of a weird one, and that is they choose seats in the way back of the plane. If possible, choose seats closer to the front of the plane and consider saving just a little bit of money so that you can upgrade to seats that are even closer with a little bit of better leg room. Because when you deplane, then all of the people in front of you are going to get to the immigration lines first. And even 20 or 30 people can add a good 10-15 minutes minimum to these lines that can get really long. Another alternative is to sign up for the VIP service that the airport offers directly from their website. It can get a little bit pricey. It's about $100 per person, but you get to skip every single line and get through the airport in minutes. Now, you do have to sign up for this service well in advance to secure your spot, and I personally have never been able to do it. It's always booked, but I will put the link in the description as well in case you want to try it. The 4th mistake that people usually make also involves your flight, and that is choosing times to arrive and depart during peak times and peak days. Now, there's not necessarily documented peak times and days, but just using your common sense here, weekends would obviously be one. If people are doing extended weekends, so Fridays and Mondays would definitely be high traffic days. In terms of the best times, these can be almost impossible to predict. But over the last few years, I have been traveling consistently Sunday through Wednesday to all of my destinations. So I try to arrive before noon on a Sunday and then leave Wednesday mid to late afternoon. And in general, we have had no issues with lines or anything at all of the airports that we've been traveling to. And I'm not guaranteeing that for anybody else, but the point is just to be mindful of the times and the days that you are booking and do the best job that you can to try to book outside those peak hours and days, especially holidays. Number 5 is something I just learned recently because I usually do not shop at duty free. But if you are planning on going to duty free, make sure you are aware of the duty free limits when purchasing items at the airport. Now, according to the Dominican Republic website, you can bring into their country a maximum of 20 packs of cigarettes, 25 cigars, or 200 grams of tobacco, and up to 3 liters total of wine, beer, rum, alcohol in general. So this includes anything you are already bringing maybe in your suitcase. So I think sometimes people forget that. So maybe they're bringing their favorite bottle of alcohol in their checked-in bag, and then now they want to buy more, and then you're going to run into a problem at customs. Okay, I know I said only 5 mistakes, but there's a few more I want to tell you because I know the airport experience can be overwhelming, and I want to get you in and out of this airport as stress-free as possible. Number 6 is about traveling with children. Now, when you are arriving, those immigration lines can be really long. So make sure when you do get off the plane that they use the bathroom and that you've packed snacks and drinks for them in case you really have to wait a while. Now, when departing, I would try to eat a big meal at the resort or wherever you are before going to the airport. They do have quite a wide variety of food options, but again, the lines can get long and it can get expensive as well. So, with that, let's talk more about departing from the Punta Cana Airport and common mistakes people make there. Number 7 is not charging your device before getting to the airport because there are not a lot of plugs to be found there. So make sure you charge up all of those devices before heading to the airport. Number 8 is not double checking your departure details. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people arrive at the wrong time, the wrong day, because they just quickly glanced over or forgot to double check. And sometimes the airlines even change things on you. So you really have to keep on top of those departure details and also leave enough time so that you don't miss your flight. Number 9 is that the Punta Cana Airport is an open air airport. So that means the air conditioning does not work that great unless you are in one of the private lounges. So just take that into consideration when you are getting dressed to go to the airport. You can always change in one of the bathrooms before your flight takes off if you like to wear jeans or pants and a jacket on the plane. But while you're waiting, you might want to consider something a little bit more lightweight. And number 10, and this is the final one, is something that I definitely need to work on, is to try to relax a little bit more, not rush through the airport and get, stressed out, because I know the airport experience can be very overwhelming. And try to stay on that Dominican island time, because that's what's so beautiful about going to Punta Cana and Dominican Republic, is that they are on a different vibe. So try to stay in that island vibe as long as you can until you get back home. And I'm always learning tips and tricks along the way. And I would love to hear some of yours as well. So drop those in the comments below. I do respond to all comments and questions. And I have done a full video and walkthrough of the Punta Cana Airport that I will add to the description below. We hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And if you are new to our channel, 3 Days and Tres Noches, we're not a travel vlog or a travel agency. We just bring you real, honest, to the point information about the travel destinations that we go to and show you you don't need an entire week to have an amazing vacation.